Good afternoon! This is Ruth with Fae Hollow Homestead, and I am back in the kitchen today because I decided against doing canned green beans. Instead, I'm going to ferment my green beans because one of my commenters suggested it and it sounded fabulous. So I looked online, found a great recipe, and again, it's fermenting, so it's got to be one of the easiest things you can possibly do. And I don't have time to can them right now. I mean, getting everything sanitized, boiling huge amounts of water, getting things up to pressure, keeping them at a certain pressure, getting them down from pressure, and then setting them out. It takes a long time. It's not a lot of work, but it takes a long time. I don't have a pressure canner. My mother-in-law does, and she's actually working a lot right now, so she's not around, and when she is around, I'm working. So this just is not working for me to wait for that. So I'm gonna ferment my green beans today, and I'm gonna show you how. So first of all, I just wanna say, this is my sauerkraut kimchi blend situation that I'm doing. It's kind of like my own creation, I guess. This is fermenting. It's been about 2 or 3 days. And I'm just thrilled. These bubbles mean it's fermenting, which is really good. Now, normally you would have to burp these jars because you see all these gases building up. But because I'm using the ball fermentation kit jars, I don't have to worry about burping it at all. The valve on top lets the oxygen, or keeps the oxygen from getting inside the jar while letting out carbon dioxide and stuff like that that is building up inside the jar. And so I have a couple more of those kits right here, and I'm going to be using these jars on my green beans. And right now what I'm just going to basically do is take my green beans and stuff them into these jars as much as possible. I'm going to put some dill. I'm going to use a grape leaf or an oak leaf in order to provide some tannins to kind of help keep the green beans crunchy. So we got salt, water, that tannin producing leaf, like either an oak leaf, yes, from like your front yard or something, or a grape leaf, but I'm going to use grape leaves because I have those, some dill and some garlic. And then the lady or the person who commented on my last video that I did some fermentation stuff, she said she uses cloves, so I'm going to use that as well. Okay, so I went out to the garden. I got a grape leaf. You can tell I'm like super sweaty because, oh my goodness, it's hot out there. I also fertilized the beds, but that's another video that you can check out from before. So I've got I put a dill flower head in the bottom of each bowl jar. I put a grape leaf for the tannins. I put some red pepper flakes, and I put 2 garlic cloves from the garden. All of this is from the garden except for the red pepper flakes. I'm super excited about that. I mean, this is a fully harvested situation going on right now, and I will have red pepper flakes at the end of this season because that's what I'm going to be making. So I planted stuff to be able to do that. So here we go. Let me show you what I got. Okay, so here's the dill with the garlic, with the red peppers and the grape leaf. Here's the beans, and I'm going to be sticking them in here, and then we're going to put the saltwater brine on top, and then we'll call it a day. Okay, so I stuck them in, I pushed them down as hard as I could, and so this is about as full as it's going to get. I only had a little bit left over. We'll have that for dinner tonight after I get home from work. And then there we go. I'm going to put the brine on. Okay, so they say to put 2 tablespoons of water, 2 tablespoons of salt per quart of water, and so that's what I put. This is a 2-quart jar, and I'm gonna I put really hot water in. After I stir it up and get the salt dissolved, I'm gonna put cold water in so that this can cool the water down a little bit, because you do not want to put hot water onto green beans because it will make the green beans chewy. So you want to get this as cold as you can after getting the salt dissolved. Okay, so I left about 1 inch headspace on these, and the 2 quarts of water filled up all 4 of these because, you know, there's a lot of space taken up by the beans and other things. So now all I'm going to do is I'm going to take this spring and I'm going to push it down, and then I'm going to put a lid on top, and we're done. I mean, that's literally all that you got to do. How cool is that? Okay, so it took me 15 minutes, guys, to do 4 jars. Considering these were already snapped and washed. They were waiting to be canned anyway. It took me a little bit more time to go out into the garden and get distracted by definitely doing other things out there. But total, getting the stuff, putting everything in here, it took me 15 minutes to ferment 4 jars worth of green beans. And now the waiting begins. Hopefully it starts bubbling like these are. The green beans are going to shrink in the water. They're going to end up getting softer, and they're going to smush down a little bit more, so we'll be able to see better if there is some good bubbles going on. But remember, with this lid we don't have to burp it or anything like that. And so I am a huge fan of saving money where possible, but in my mind I am so busy that the chances of me remembering, I know myself, the chances of me remembering to burp these at the proper times is nil. And so if I want to have fermented foods, I need to have lids that are going to self-burp. Otherwise, I'm going to end up wasting my jars, my food, all this work. Not that it was a lot of work, but growing it, starting it, harvesting it, all these things go into this. And then also, you just, you ruined one of your jars too because it explodes. So that's not fun. Then there's that mess that you got to clean up. So here is the harvest of everything that I did the other day. I've got the beets right there. I've got the fermented sauerkraut kimchi mixture situation going on right there, and then 4 quarts of beans. And that is fabulous. I get to put that on my pantry shelf now, and whenever we're ready, we can start eating that. Okay, so that's it. Thank you so much for watching and joining me. I'm really excited to try these. I'm sure they're going to be delicious. I love everything fermented. You guys, if you could hit the like button, the notification bell, the subscription button, all those things, that would help me out a lot. And again, you guys, thank you for all your comments and everything, because I wouldn't have done this if you guys hadn't commented about it and let me know about it, because, green beans, in my mind, it's always just been canned green beans or freezing them after blanching. And so, I guess I got stuck. I said in the last video that you can ferment anything, and I didn't ever consider that I could ferment green beans. So thank you so much. You might have just changed a whole thing for us. Have a wonderful day and stay blessed.